I was involved with a lot of Filipino organizations. First was the Filipino Women's Organization, and then the Federation of Filipinos, the Old Timers. I was involved in that too. And then when we started to raise money for a cultural center, we were the first one involved in that too. And then I was with Kiwanis. When they admitted women to the Kiwanis Club, I became the president, first woman president of Kiwanis, Filipino Kiwanis, and then I became a lieutenant governor, and that was it. Then we had the movement for Free Philippines that ousted the Marcos dictatorship. And with the Filipino nurses case, I was involved, but just rallying support from the Filipino community. And then we were also trying to raise funds for the nurses because they couldn't work and they have their families in here. Plus, that's our nature. So we have to support our own people, because we couldn't believe they could do whatever they were accused of. There's a term that they used, Filipino term for supporting each other, especially if you are in a foreign country, you kind of band together for survival in your country. You want to get with Filipinos, your co-Filipinos, especially in those days when discrimination was so high. It was really, but we survived. We were one of the witnesses in the trial. And even the prosecutors, they exhibited a kind of behavior that's kind of discriminating, and that's why the judge wasn't sympathetic to them either, you know. But even when they were demonstrating, you could hear voices in the back talking about these nurses or murderers. What I heard is the procedure that the nurses said I heard this from the nurses, that this is a standard procedure that they did. I was ordered by a doctor, and that's what they went by. And other hospitals were doing it, and yet there was no incident of killing. So the evidence was planted, I think, because they were made a scapegoat. I can't conceive the idea of these girls killing. They are trained, they're professional, and they come here to better themselves, to earn money. And they are just thankful to America because they opened their doors for them to come in and earn money, and so that they can support their families as well as their families in the Philippines, you know. As immigrants, you have to shut your mouth, so to speak, you know. Just live on. As long as you're able to stay here, go on with what you have. And like if you are discriminated against, you know, you can't say nothing. You're afraid to, because otherwise they'll deport you, you know. Oh, we always wonder, you know, what happened to this nurse. I'll continue and find out if I can, you know. In fact, I went to a meeting last Thursday in the village. There were a lot of people, and they were talking about forgiveness and all that. And then I mentioned that I will be interviewed for these nurses. Anybody remember the nurses who were accused? And nobody did. Nobody knew about it.